Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel, CG Rated Books. It's been a pretty crazy month so far. It's only the beginning of, it seems like November just started and we're already halfway through the month. It's pretty crazy. So we're going to do our weekly check-in today and get you all caught up about things that are happening on the channel and in the local area. So let's go ahead and get it knocked out, right? So first of all, most of you guys already know that I'm recovering from an illness. I don't know what happened. Just what was it? Was it Monday night? It was Monday night. It hit me Monday night. I was watching football with my son, Joshua. And after the game, we played some video games and I got nauseous and it just hit me. It just hit me hard. Some stomach flu or stomach illness, whatever. Something I must have eaten. But I got lightheaded, got dizzy, got nauseous, ended up going to bed late because I still was up most of the night for some reason. Don't know why. I just went ahead. I should have went ahead and just laid down, but I didn't. And then woke up the next morning and straight to the porcelain throne, face first, right? Had to get all that stuff off my stomach. I woke up nauseous, and it was not appealing at all. So, but the moment you guys found out that I was ill, I think I mentioned it to a person or two. I might have posted it. Yeah, I did. I made a post because I was trying to apologize for not getting my videos out. And you guys just rallied the troops. You circled the wagons. You sent out all kinds of well wishes. And I'm really, really grateful for that. It does make me feel like I belong. YouTube, Booktube community, Booktube neighbors. You guys are great. So anyway, I'm feeling better. I got out today, went around, did some book hunting, and got a chance to get some vitamin D sun rays and got some exercise, stretched my legs a little bit, and I'm feeling better. I'm feeling much better. But it's the holiday season already. It's upon us, right? So October, November, December, right? That's we really. I mean, they try to pour it on, right? We are a consumer nation, right? And we've got to have some goods to sell. So we've got to have holidays and family gatherings and celebrations of all sorts to get you spending that money, keep you spending that money. But the best part about the end of the year isn't just the autumn. It's not just the fall season, but it's family time. So there's something about being cozy and being with people you care about all throughout the end of the year, especially the last 2 months of the year. So with the holiday season being up, I want to make sure you guys know that the channel activity is going to slow down just a little bit. But don't you worry, we'll still be here. We'll try to get, hopefully at least a video up once a week. There's going to be, on most occasions, when the channel is like running full speed, anywhere between 2 to 3 videos a week, because of the fact that there's just so much content to put out. I don't think I'm ever going to run out of tags. I've got a long list of tags to do. I'm not going to run out of material. It's just a matter of getting the recording done and getting it posted up on the channel. So we'll always have content for you. But during the holiday season, it's going to slow down. I have a place to entertain and host my family. I'm going to get my kids over here. We're going to celebrate. We're going to eat together as much as possible and enjoy the holidays together. So, bada boom, bada bing. So be prepared for that. Okay. So you guys know that I'm really big on Booktube tags. I love doing tags. I love being tagged. I love doing tags so much that I'll do them without being tagged. But for me, there's a difference between doing a tag and doing a challenge. And I was recently challenged by none other than my very closest Booktube neighbor, Kevin Toll. He has challenged me to do the bookstore challenge. And so I conducted that today. The video will hopefully be up. We're probably going to put the video up for Tag Tuesday. So instead of our normal tag video, we'll have the BookTube challenge video up for Tuesday. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to be some good stuff. I met. Okay, so the irony, there is a bookstore that has been. You guys know that I do personal protection and armed security. Well, I used to guard some very important clients near the downtown Fort Worth area. And I would patrol this, I also did residential patrols where I would guard their homes at night, when they're there, when they're not there. And they're up and down the strip between, within the neighborhood where they live. There's this bookstore there, a used bookstore. And until I was challenged to actually research to find out what other place to go besides half-price books in Barnes & Noble, I didn't even know it was there. And I used to patrol that whole area for like anywhere, 8 to 10 years? 8 years, about 8 years. And there it was. And so I got a chance to go into the store today, and I met the store owner, Mike Moore. This dude is awesome. So he was very accommodating during my challenge. He was very accommodating during my search. I went there for two reasons. First thing was the classics for children's collection. There was a video, one of the videos that was posted Wednesday. Was it posted Wednesday? I think it was posted Wednesday. We are continuing. We're finding more and more books for our collection. So, yeah. So that video is up. But while I'm it's starting to get difficult to find the rest of the books. There's like about 9 books left in the series, and it's getting difficult to find the rest of the books. So now I'm trying to employ my local bookshop owners, and so the challenge from Kevin came at a very, very peculiar time because I needed to go find these bookstores anyway. So I went out there to go look to see if they can help me find the books that I'm looking for and do the challenge. So that's done, and I'll get that up. But Monkey and Dog Bookstore, this place is super awesome. I'm going to go there because they have lounge areas. There's a coffee shop right next door, but the store itself is completely cozy. It's like the perfect place to go during the fall, and seasons changing, the temperatures are starting to drop, and you're feeling real cozy and you want to read a book. This is the sip coffee and read a book. This is the perfect place to go. So really, really excited about that, finding it and getting a chance to meet Mike and Amanda. Awesome people. But I did do the classics for children's collection, and in the process of finding those books and purchasing those books and having those books shipped to me, I was given a couple of coupons, and I don't need them. I don't want them. And so I was blasting these things up all over the place. $20 gift certificate and this $100 gift certificate for $100 voucher. These are being raffled. I haven't heard from anybody, but if you're interested in receiving those, I will mail them to you. Just drop me an email in the subject line, coupon giveaway, and I'll send them out to you. I'll do a raffle if I get more than one name. If I don't get more than one name, I'll just send them whoever replies. Otherwise, they'll just get recycled. I will put them in the shredding bin and turn them in to the recycle folks come on Tuesday. So I will extend. They're good. The Chewy is good for a year, and a year is good until next year, February, and then of course the wine voucher is good until end of January, beginning of January. So let me know. So moving on to our rip list, we are currently halfway through the people. Is it The Prophet of Yonwood? I am disappointed. We'll have the book reviews up pretty soon. I got a lot of book reviews to do, but I didn't like this one too much. Personal reasons. I'm halfway through, so maybe it'll take a turn. But I haven't lost interest in finish reading it. So we're going to read it. We're going to finish it. But I'm a little bit more than halfway through. Hopefully by the end of the weekend. Yeah. Slow reader. That'll be done. And then we have The Lonely Dead by April Henry. I don't know if you remember, but this is a young lady who found out that she can speak to the dead and ends up finding out that she comes across her best friend and finds out that her friend is dead. And she ends up getting accused by the police as being one of the primary suspects. And so the friend is trying to help her solve the case so she doesn't go to jail for something she didn't do. And then we have Missing You by Harlan Coben. Now I'm finding out that Harlan is a popular author, which is really cool. I don't normally get popular authors. I usually find folks I've never heard of, or folks say, that's a new one to me. Yeah, so we have this one. And the main protagonist is a police detective, and she ends up getting caught up in some type of love issues, because she's attended some online dating app and ends up running into an old guy, and problems arise, a former boyfriend. And then of course the last and final on the rip list is Grand Theft Horse, and this one was Jeanne Neri, and this is going to be I love the art on this, so we're looking forward to finishing this one, to getting into this one. But you remember, there's a young lady. She is a horse trainer, and they are spiking the horse. The horse gets injured. They want to continue spiking the horse, and she decides not to, so she ends up stealing the horse. And that's what that story is about. And there we go. Real quick, real easy. And on to Bookish Texas. Now, with it being the holidays, you have to understand. I meant to close the door so I can see my calendar. I'm going to give you the rest of the list and it might change. But I have a list for the end of the month. I usually do it 1 week at a time, but this week is going to be the last week, and then of course the last regular week, and then of course the last week of the month is a holiday week. Kids out of school, not a whole lot of events going on, but one might pop up later. But since we're talking about that now, let's go ahead and get into that. Starting with the 15th all the way through to the 25th. Yeah, so it actually ends on the 17th. There was an event. It was canceled. It was a TBD, a to be determined event, and it's still TBD. So I don't know if it's going to actually happen. so we won't talk about it unless I get a confirmed. But we have the National Book Awards Festival in Huntsville, Texas. That's going to be 15th, November 15th in Huntsville, Texas, the National Book Awards Festival. And I didn't look up a lot of the details for these. So if you want one, just, you can email me or you can just reply or comment here and we'll talk more about it on a one-to-one or in the comments. And then, of course, I've mentioned this once before. The new one was the National Book Awards Festival in Huntsville. But I've already mentioned that the Waco Arts Festival in Waco, Texas, is from the 15th through the 17th. Right? That's today going through that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yeah. So we have the Waco Arts Festival in Waco, Texas. And then here's a new one that wasn't on the list before. The Read to Me Picture Book Festival. That's going to be in the Woodlands, Texas. That's the name of the city, The Woodlands, if you're not familiar with the area. But it's called the Read to Me Picture Book Festival. And I did want to look up some more information about that one because the title of that one really got me interested more into, but I didn't look it up. But that is on the 16th, which is Saturday, right? Saturday. That's Saturday. It's only one day event. And then we have the Nerd Con in Mont Belvieu, Texas, on the 16th as well. A lot of these it'd be nice if these events were different time frames, but a lot of them are happening at the same time in several different areas across Texas. So pick the one closest to you or travel to the one that you prefer. That's what we're left with because that's the end of the year. And yeah. So the Nerd Con is in Mont Belvieu, Texas on the 16th. And then the Texas Book Festival, which is pretty big. It's a pretty cool event. Texas Book Festival is in Austin, Texas. It's always in Austin, Texas. And that's from Saturday and Sunday, the 16th and the 17th. And that is right. 16th and 17th. And I'm looking at yes, Saturday, Sunday. And that's all that I have. I just have those 5 events this particular time frame. And I don't have anything the last week of November. So when we do the weekly check-in for next week, if something new pops up, I'll share that with you guys. I'll share that with you. The 15th through the 17th, we have the National Book Awards Festival, the Waco Arts Festival, the Read to Me Picture Book Festival, the Nerd Con, and the Texas Book Festival. So it's festival season. And with that, we're on to our final category for the weekly check-in, and that is the weekly topic. And the weekly topic this week is reading your world or mine. And basically, it's all about the generalizations of reading, why read, and then the more personal reasons is why I personally read myself. The questions were a little bit more detailed this week because the answers actually literally led right into the next. Every time they asked me something, I would answer it, and I do the question and answer with someone because when I do that, it helps spark more questions. And so we do have four questions, and the very first one was actually it wasn't even a question. It was give me an introduction into reading. What? Yeah, I didn't really. I kind of rambled through that one. And I wrote down some of the things that I said, and I'm reading it, and it doesn't make any sense to me what I said. But it was, what keeps me wanting to read books? What keeps me wanting to read books? And that's, I think it was a question I was asking myself. They were asking me about reading, and it's really weird because it leads. Let's go into the next question because like I'm reading my notes and I'm like, what? That doesn't. I don't know. And the individual that posed some of these questions isn't. I don't have access to them at this time. So, first question was, what does reading do? Why read? Right? And so I got some bullet notes in here that says, well, first of all, it strengthens the brain. First of all, when you get those synapses firing in your head, the both left and right, it inspires movement on both sides of the brain. It increases empathy. Begin to feel for the characters that you're reading about. You feel for the people that you share your stories with. It helps build your vocabulary. It prevents. I like this one here. It prevents the cognitive decline. And I don't know how that popped into my head. Sometimes when I talk, the average time that I talk, I'm goofy. I sound like a teenager. But there are times when I do speak to folks and I sound a little educated. Prevents cognitive decline. And it just pops into your head. And the main reason why is because it gets the brain firing on solutions, on resolutions, on trying to, you're reading something, whether fiction or educational, and it sparks your problem solving. How would I do that? How would that make me feel? It just, and most of this is study proven, right? It reduces stress. It helps aid with sleeping. It helps alleviate depression, and it actually can lengthen your lifespan. So reading, when you're looking at it from a professional or scientific standpoint, reading is health. Not everybody does it. And I'm saying you can't be healthy if you don't read, but reading helps increase your health. And it doesn't matter what you're reading. It doesn't matter what you're reading. And that's when I was saying that, breaking all that stuff down, I was spitting this stuff out like I just finished doing a study. I get a chance to go over my notes and I clean up my notes and make it seem real pretty. So when I get a chance to come out here and talk to you guys, it sounds a little bit more focused and organized. But that led her to the next question. Those sound like benefits to reading. What do you think are some personal reasons why people choose to read? And reading is basically a means of one of two things, either escaping reality or expanding reality. And that means the average person reads to relax, be entertained, or educated in one shape, form, fashion. But I like the way that when I said that, I catch myself off guard sometimes when I say things. I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's good. Reading allows you to either escape reality or expand your reality. And how does that happen? I mean, what takes place? What are the experiences, right? You get to improve your creativity and your imagination. You get a chance to experience another world, right, through the eyes of another person, right? You get a chance to get exposed to other places, other times, other events, things that, there may be details that you've read, or somebody had been there, or their creativity, their imagination will expose you to certain things that you never really would have thought of, would have come across, right? It helps you to facilitate your quiet times. There are some people, so I'm like this, right? So I have this problem where I'm an overworker, right? A bit of an overachiever. I kind of overdo it when it comes to work. I kind of overdo it when it comes to, put forth an effort. And so I do the exact same thing when I relax. So while I'm working, I'm telling myself I'm overdoing. I need to relax. And then when I relax, I don't do a doggone thing. I mean, I literally fester. And each time I'm done with the other, I'm regretting that I wasn't more constructive with that time. So when I get done from working, I'll work people don't know this, but not too long ago, I went up to Minnesota. I lived in Minnesota for about 8 months working on a special job assignment. Now, while I was up there, I worked 7/12s. That's right, 7/12s. That means I worked 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. And I did that for 8 months, nonstop. And while I was doing that, I had a purpose in my mind. Yeah, let's do this, let's do that. I'm doing this to get the money. I'm doing this to do that. I completely came back from there with so much overtime and so much extra money that when I returned, I was completely out of financial debt. But I knew that I needed to slow down. I knew that I needed to take a break. And then when I take a break, I don't do nothing. And then it's time for me to go back to work. So like now. So now I work 4 days a week, only 4 days a week. I have 3 days off. They're split days off. I have 2 days off, work 1 day, then another day off, and then I work the next 3 days. When I'm not working, sometimes I'm not doing anything. I will sit and fester in front of the TV. And then when it's time to go back to work, I'm thinking to myself, I could have accomplished something. I could have read. I could have wrote a poem. I could have done anything. So I go back and forth between not doing enough and doing too much. So sometimes reading allows me to be able to say, at least I took that time to relax, because reading does help me relax. It does help me relax. And so I took that time to get a little relaxation in, enjoy my time, and then I can sit there and say to myself, I accomplished something. I got some reading done. I feel better, right? So reading does help you facilitate those quiet times so that you're not doing too much, you're doing just enough, and you're not having to stress yourself over not being productive during those downtimes. And also in the same sense is sometimes you don't take those quiet times because you don't do anything. So if you decide, I'm going to go read, now you're forcing yourself to slow down. So it's two-sided. It's a double-edged sword. But it does help you facilitate your quiet times. And then, of course, it definitely helps you improve your memory. Oof. It also helps you focus, increase your focus. So you experience those things as part of the benefits of reading, right? And that was one, that. And then question number 3 was, what are your personal reasons for reading? My personal reasons. Now remember, I says, the reasons you read are based either on, and it could be a combination of the two, but mainly it's either going to be to the escape of reality, of your reality, or the expanding of your reality. And I personally read to escape. But I have encouraged myself to read more because I also write and because of my daydreaming. So it does help create, or excuse me, it does help improve on my creativity. It does help to expand my imagination because I'm very I'm very imaginative, and I've got a I mean my thoughts, my imagery, my visions. They're ever since I was a kid, I was like this. I've been always been like that. Always been introverted. Always been a daydreamer. Always had this wild imagination. And any single time, I used to escape through my daydreaming. But then I thought, oh wow, well, maybe I could write down, maybe I could write a story. Maybe I can write some poetry. And then it dawned on me, I didn't know much about writing, because when I tried to write it out, I was like, well, how am I going to say this? How am I going to do that? And so I got into reading more purposefully to see how people wrote out their thoughts, how to see how they, oh, probably, okay, yeah, I see how they did it. I don't think I'd say it like, but I could say this, I could say that. Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah. So that's more me. And I began to read more because I wanted to improve on my ability to transfer my thoughts to paper. And you get hooked, you get fascinated with it when you start to see, how people portray imagery, and how storytelling is just so fascinating to me. It's so fascinating. And yeah, you know so I'm doing this booktube thing as a means of promoting more and bringing more desire to do more reading, because I'll be honest with you, I will fall into a daydreaming state. So I read basically um, mainly at work, because I'll slow down, and I have to do my patrols and I have to do my checks, but in between that, you're literally, you're just kind of sitting there. Don't want to be on my phone watching TV and whatnot, and you get very very easily far more distracted with your mobile device than you do with a book. And so I will read to fill some of that time, but I will daydream. I will choose to sit there and do nothing and stare off into space. And if I don't have a reason to read, I might get a book like right now, reading Prophet of Yonwood. This the series has been fascinating. I've been enjoying reading it, but this one here is dealing, maybe a couple of triggers in it. This is literally, it's a prophet. It's a Christian fiction story, and but it leans more towards a derogatory um, experience that I've had when I was younger, dealing with the church and some of the things. And I'll probably bring that up when I do the review. But there's nothing wrong with the book or the way that the story was told. But now I'm at this point now where my reading has slowed down a little bit, because I'm like, but I got a YouTube channel and I'm reading, and so yeah, let me go ahead and finish reading that book. So I will decide and facilitate that quiet time a lot more, because I have a more of a purpose for reading, right? And let me not ramble too much. Question number 4 was, what, if any, are the pressures of reading, if any? Yeah, if any, yeah. I think there was. I think I began to ramble when they asked me their last question, and they were wanting to know, why would you choose to read? Why will you continue to choose to read? Because what could stop you from wanting to read? I think that's what they were trying to say. because I had to ask them, what do you mean by the pressures? And here's the thing, and I've mentioned this before in several different cases before, where you've heard the saying that if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. You know, if you do what you love for work, you'll never work a day in your life. And I've never agreed to that. So I'm a martial artist. I love martial arts, right? And I'm good at instruction. And so I followed that philosophy. And I found out that I almost lost the love for martial arts, because it went from something that I love to something that I had to do. And during time, and not only that, but I couldn't do what I wanted to do because I was having to take what I love and give it to somebody else. And so I love to read, but if you get to the point where you get outside of the reason why you read, which is one of the reasons why I like to cover stuff like this, because what are your reasons for reading? Why do you read? If you get outside of that, you'll lose the interest for doing it. Now, if you're out here trying to keep up with I think Kevin is just doing a video about something like this too. I was telling you about the monetization, the consumer product, you know, turning your hobby into a way of earning a living. You know, you're doing it to satisfy somebody else. And when you get outside of doing it to satisfy yourself, you're going to lose that love. You're going to lose the appreciation. And so a lot of pressures in reading is when life happens, and it happens to everybody. I love to read, but now I have to choose between reading this and doing that. But I got to read, and now I'm feeling traumatized because I told these folks I was going to give them this book review off of this book, but now this seems to be a little bit more important, and now I'm torn apart. You know, that's a pressure in reading. Finding something to read, right? What is it like when you're trying to find your next title? I know some folks, and I've watched somebody, who was it? Karen, believe it or not, she did that in her video. And I thought that was, but I've seen other folks do it. They do the TBR jar list, and they pull their book selection from it. They pull it out and it's like, no, not that one. Let's pull it again. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you know, I like to walk into the library not knowing, I have no clue if I'm going to walk out with a historical fiction. I don't know if I'm going to walk out with a nonfiction. I don't know if I'm going to walk out with a Christian fiction. Excuse me, murder, mystery, crime, drama. I have no clue. And I go in there, and there are things. I don't grab books that are too small. I don't like the micro books. I don't like books that are too thick. And so I'll go in there and I'll grab a book and I'll find something, and I'm like, I found this book, Lonely Dead, and it's got this matte finish, and just the image on the book, the cover, the title. I didn't know what was going on with the synopsis in this book, and then I read the back and I'm like, oh man. But I was so fascinated with everything else about the book, because this deals with the afterlife. This deals with the woman talking to the dead. And not one of my, but I'm like, but there's so much about this book that I'm like, and so boom, here I am. How unlikely is it for me to have that particular title? And so I like being able to walk in there and not knowing and just go for broke and just, let's do this. And so the bookstore challenge, you're going to see how that was. That was a challenge. That's a challenge. That was a challenge. No kidding. But don't commercialize what you love. I don't know if you guys saw Saving Private Ryan. Now, this doesn't really, as Tom Hanks, Matt Damon, they were in a scene. towards the end of the movie in The Last Stand, and Matt Damon he just found out that Tom Hanks used to be a school teacher before the war, and they were talking about all the different kinds of things that he was familiar with, and then it led to him mentioning his wife and her gardening. And Matt Damon asked, tell me more about that. And Tom looked at him and said, no, I'm going to save that for myself. That's for me. And that's what your reading should be. It should have that same connotation, right? I don't read for y'all. I don't read and review because I want to tell y'all what to read or what you like or recommend. I don't want to recommend. Every book that I read, no matter how good or how terrible it is, I want y'all to read them. I don't give my reviews and my stars for you to not read the book. No, read the book because I mentioned it once before, right? What fun is it, right, to read a book that you don't like, right? Unless you're able to tell somebody how much you don't like it. That's why I don't DNF, because I want somebody to read this book and I want to interact with you. I want to have this conversation with you about this doggone book. So when I do my book reviews, I don't want them to be a recommendation. Oh, you got to read this book. No, I want you to read. I'm telling you which books I'm reading, and I'm actually trying to show you on ways on how to access these books. And they're easy books. You know, it looks like a thick book, but it's not a thick book. The print, look at the print. It's easy, right? This is a short book. It's a quick. For me, it's long, but you know. Lonely, that's a quick read. That's a quick read. And the print isn't so tight. It's not tiny print. So a lot of the books that I get, I want people to read them, regardless if they suck or not. Because my thing is this, when I do my review, and my reviews are going to be more reactionary now. They're going to be more reaction than review. But when I do my review, I want it to be like, oh my gosh, I gotta see why this book is so bad. I want my viewers to say, I gotta read this book. I gotta read this book. And then I'm gonna call them up and say, you were right. Or I'm gonna say, no, I didn't see what you were talking about. And then I get a chance to, like, it opens up that door for that interaction. Yeah, anyway. Those are the pressures in reading. And there's probably more. I really had trouble trying to pinpoint the thought process on that particular question, but yeah. And some of the questions I get via email, so I don't get a chance to really. I got to go back and forth with them. Some of the questions are asked in person, and then I just pick. I try to keep it down to 4 questions because I don't want the video to be too long. But anyway, so that was it. That's question number 4. Those are the pressures. Let me know about your reading style. Why do you read? Do you read for educational purposes? Do you read just to be entertained? Do you read because you need to escape your reality? Right? Escape or expand? Escape or expand? What's your thought processes on why do you read? And has it become stressful? Thank you for joining us this week. Our channel referral is going to be Matt from Random Reading Pathways. We have posted his channel on our homepage, so you can go over there and check him out really quick and easily and get a chance to visit. He is putting out constant material. He does like to participate in tags, and he will communicate back with you. Matt's a pretty cool guy. Go ahead and check him out, and let's help get him to 100 subscribers. Remember, we like to sponsor and refer individuals that have channels that are below 100 subscribers just to get that information out there to the rest of you guys. So Matt, this week is about you. Thanks for being my neighbor. Thanks for including me in the tags. Thanks for participating in tags that I've tagged you in. And as for the rest of us, I hope everybody enjoys their weekend and always keep on reading.